welcome to another episode of Train Lee Installations. Today I'm reviewing this little LGB 21900 Duo system locomotive. It is a little switch engine. Originally it was completely analog and not DCC ready, but it gave the ability to remote uncouple. In other words, the couplers are remote controlled and they operate based off of the voltage levels and direction. Here's a brief video showing how it worked in analog mode. Welcome back. For this particular one, I'm going to, I converted it to Zimo DCC, a sound decoder, the MS950P22, and a adapter board. It took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted to program the couplers using the original LGB decoupler couplers. So let me go ahead and review what I came up with based off of its original operation. And I'll talk about the different functions while we're working on it. Of course, to turn on the sound, as normal, I programmed it to use F8. And then to turn on the headlights, it's F0. You probably can't see the headlights very well in that view. What I did do is, when I turn on the headlights, the cab light also is turned on, but with movement, the cab light is automatically turned off. So F1 is the bell. F2 is one of the horns. F3 is a little bit longer. F4 is what I call the shunting key. This is, it reduces the momentum of the locomotive and reduces the top speed the locomotive can maneuver. We should ensure to load our, let the engineer get in and out of the locomotive. Let's go ahead and press F5. That's the door opening and closing. So F6 and F7, those operate the couplers. F6 operates the front coupler, and F7 operates the rear coupler. So let me demonstrate what happens. So when I press F6 or 7, I have the locomotive in a forward motion. So when I press F6, the yellow cab light or roof light is turned on. Now when I reverse the direction of this means the coupler is active, and in this case it's the front coupler. When I reverse the direction of travel for the locomotive, the coupler opens and the red light turns on. So push it forward, and I'll run the locomotive forward a little bit here. We had to turn the coupler off again. So as you notice, what I did is I ran the locomotive a little out of the screen and I picked up a car with the coupler. So I'll go back forward again so I can push the car at the moment. So if I want to release that car or uncouple from that car, go ahead and press F6 for the front coupler. And notice the coupler is now active, and this is indicated by the light on the roof. And then I want to pull away from the car, or leave it there. So I'm going to put the locomotive in reverse, and the coupler opens up, and I can pull right away from that car. Now as soon as I go forward, I'll go ahead and turn on the coupler closes. I'll go ahead and deactivate the coupler. And I'll pull forward. And I'll show you that once again. We'll go ahead and activate the coupler by pressing F6. And this is the front coupler. And I will reverse the direction of the locomotive and reverse it. Now, a fun thing if you want to, let me push that out of the way again. Is you can activate both couplers actually. I'll run it back to forward direction, and I'll activate the rear coupler by pressing F7. Now you notice it's open and the red light's on. Now I can make both couplers work simply by changing the directions of the locomotive. Now, so the couplers, each coupler actually uses 2 function keys, and I tied those 2 function keys based off of the direction of the locomotive. Or function outs, I should say, not function keys. So again, the front coupler is F6, the rear coupler is F7. The drive sounds are F8, and then F9 is what's called a speed lock. What that allows to happen is you can rev the it locks the locomotive in place, and you can rev the locomotive up quite a bit. And then you can take it off, and it starts moving again. F10 is the cornering squeal. That only plays with movement, or the noise. F16 is the station announcement. Then you have some handbrakes, loosening, and so on, some different sound effects. You have a different whistle. You have an air pump, some sanding, lifters, and then for F19 and 20. F19 increases the volume of the locomotive, and 20 decreases the overall volume of the locomotive. So this is a relatively quick review of this locomotive. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to converting one of your locomotives or upgrading it to DCC. I'm Christine McNary of Train Lee.